going on, guys and girls? It's the Short Bear, and today we're going to recap the trades that I took and recap the action that we saw today in general. Today was a really nice day. We had a lot of different plays and a lot of range, which we didn't really get since the start of the month. This month was pretty slow so far. We didn't have much volume, not a lot running, and in general, it's hard to find a good risk reward if everything is just fading down, crashing down without giving you any structure or any pop to enter. So today I came in with the mindset of being just patient. If nothing pops up, I'm just not going to trade. It's the way it is. A slow period can take some time, and the market will get hot again. So the thing I really wanted to do is not exhaust my mental and dollar capital and just, trade well, not going for home runs, and just, keep the size down. But this morning, right at 7 a.m., we had a couple of things running. We had a couple of things, moving, and I just took advantage of it. We had a lot of range. So the first one was CAPR, right? So CAPR, we all saw it today on the scans. We all saw this huge fade pre-market. But really, there's really no way, to know that a stock will go red and really dump, and just go further than the gap fills. So what I was seeing is basically, just, this kind of area. So right here, just this thing, and I was seeing, gap fill near 350. So what did I do exactly? I was looking at it, and I really wanted, a pop, right? A pop to this area. So here's the open at 7 a.m. here. That's when I'm starting to trade, so 7 a.m., not before that. And I really wanted a kind of a pop towards this resistance, maybe a few cents over, and then really heaviness to enter. That's going to give me the best risk reward. That's going to give me the biggest range to the downside and just a bigger profit target. So a better risk rewards. But we didn't get that. So right away, we started crashing down, and I just stayed patient, right? So we crashed down right here, couldn't enter because where do you realistically want to have your stop, right? Somewhere where you don't get stopped out. That would have been the high of the day. And I just didn't feel comfortable, entering right in here. So right near, let's see here, right near 385, target being 350, so 35 cents against pretty much the same as a risk. So you've got a 1-to-1. It's not good enough, right? So was waiting, and then we saw this pop right here. So this pop actually, let me show you, was a bit more heavy, and we had a bit more, of a tri-read first. So one wave and kind of a second one right here. We were touching, 380, and we started really absorbing over it, absorbing, and the bids got eaten up, and the ass came down. So I was thinking, all right, I want an instant rejection, and if we reclaim this 383, 385 area, I will cut. So basically a 5-cent stop against the target of near gap fill, so near 350. That was my target. And as you can see right here, I shorted, started working right away. So I had an average of 378, and I covered into the flush basically for 15-20 cent profit. So I covered right in here, and if you look at it, I mean, we already faded down almost all the way to the gap fill area. So I covered here thinking if we move back towards the open, I'm going to re-hit it, but it just, doesn't make sense to hold it further. Usually, we see a nicer bounce pre-market or at the open. Usually they try to open it as high as possible within the parameters of, the capital they can use, just to dilute more at a better price. But on this one, I just let it go, and that was it. So moved on. All right, the second ticker was PFNX. PFNX, this one I was really interested in. Why? Because my best trades, my best patterns, they all happen the same way. It's a dilution play. We get a huge gap or a big gap compared to the previous history. We get a run at 7 a.m., so right in between 7 and 7:30 a.m., and then we just fade the whole day. So that's exactly what I wanted to see from PFNX. What I did is right away, I researched, right? So I researched this ticker, and I saw that they do have dilution, right? They have a 20 million ATM with William Blair, and then I got to the 10Q. I researched for that specific ATM to see, all right, did they use any of it? Did they need, and can they raise, right? So can they use it at all or not? To do so, I typed in sales agreement, and as you can see right here, in March 2018, we entered into an equity sales agreement with William and Blair to sell up to 20 million, right? So, and right here through an ATM. So as you read through it, you're going to see here, as of June 30th, 2019, the company had not sold any shares under a sales agreement, which means, all right, it's basically, 3 months back, 4 months back. And if you look at the daily chart, you're going to see that they didn't have any kind of major day since June. So since right here, no big kind of, gap up or any volume event. So my mindset was they couldn't, or they didn't at least use a lot of that ATM, just based on, the volume event. We didn't see much volume. So after that, I looked at the daily, kind of, drew my lines, and as you can see, we've got pretty much resistance at 940, and we've got this big, kind of big resistance area at $10 over under. So after that, I was watching it on the 1 minute chart to see some kind of parabolic with volume, and that's exactly what we saw, right? We started popping over 9 and got parabolic over 950, and I was thinking everyone is kind of longing, hoping for $10 break. Same thing if it would be $1. So everyone's kind of, longing, thinking, all right, $10 is going to break, kind of a magnet, right? So right away was watching it, and as it got heavy at that 75 area, I was thinking, all right, you know what? This one is really overextended, and I really like the fundamentals. That is the best entry data-wise, so I'm going to try to enter as much as I can. So I entered everything I had at that time at 975, I think, right? 970, all right. So right here, and right away started working in my favor. So right there, I knew, all right, I want to have more size, right? But I couldn't just hit the bid there, or at least, we had SSR, but I didn't want to get filled right in at like $9, only, to have it bounce back towards 960, 950, whatever, right? So didn't want to mess up my average, so I had to wait for me to be able to really have a resistance area that I can use that is not the high of day, because I want a tighter stop, I want my odds to be better for my ad, right? So waited, we bounced to VWAP, and right away super heavy, absorbing on the ask, bid propping. We came back down right away, so right there, as we bounced, we couldn't make it, we came back down to 9 again. I shorted there thinking, all right, I'm gonna have my stop right over this 930 for 1/2, and if we get, back to 950, 60, I'm gonna add back what I just, added to my position, and which I covered then. Which I would have covered. And we got a nice flush right away. I had my order 1 cent. So, we saw the bid at 937. That's where I was sitting. Didn't get it. So right away started, moving my order up, and I got filled near 940. And after that, so I covered 1/2, right? Because I thought we're getting overextended, kind of, same thing. So overextended. I'm expecting a move back up, like I expected a move back down here, especially, going into the open. I didn't want to have any huge position. So we started, kind of grinding, and, we got sideways until the open. And I held through it. At the open, I was thinking, all right, if we pop back over 9 to 920, I'm going to add more size now, and I'll take it down, and I'll play it as a dilution play. And as you can see, we didn't get any pop, so I held, and I waited for a bigger pop for me to add size. When I'm in already a substantial size on the ticker, and I want to get even bigger, I'm really being picky about my entries. I don't want any kind of bounce, but I want a bounce where we start trapping the shorts. Especially on this name, we had ETB, so it was easy to borrow, and we had SSR, which are two things I really don't want to see. and we had a high institutional ownership as well. So three things that I really usually don't like for the long and for the short, I mean, and that's why I really wanted, to have some shorts that are tracked. It came back down, and I wanted to cover some, and again, I had my order at 76, which is like 1 cent below the low of the day. Again, no fill there because I wanted to cover some, wanted to be done earlier, we almost, closed the gap, and I expected it to bounce. So we bounced, so I couldn't cover, we bounced basically over this high, and we got into this resistance, the next one, that's where I wanted to short, and again, as right here, as we couldn't make it to 10, I expected the stock to fail just below VWAP and not even get over it, especially with the ATM. So shorted some more, we got back down right away, started going sideways, and right there I was starting, to get not nervous, but I knew already it's easy to borrow, so there is a risk for reclaim. And as you can see, we couldn't make it. We tried breaking, and we made lower highs every single time. So right here, right there, and then lower, kind of lower, and retest, lower, and right here, lower high. And that's kind of where I wanted to add some more size. So I added some more size there. I moved my stop down again near this 825 area. I had it at 830, thinking, all right, if you want to test, I'm going to let it test, but I'll cover. And once we kind of made it to the low of day, but kind of reclaimed again, I moved my stop super tight, and I knew, all right, I really don't want to see a higher high. So we had that high here, which was lower than this here, and this high here, which was lower than that one. And as soon as we reclaimed here and made basically a higher high, and we had a higher low here, I just covered it up. I covered up, as you can see, I covered it up at 805, just taking the profits. And from there on, I was playing kind of a VWAP test, kind of easy to borrow squeeze parabolic short. So I wanted, the RSI to be kind of high, and taking it back, towards $8. So that's exactly what I did. I waited for the pop towards VWAP. Again, I thought we may not even make it because the resistance and the VWAP was higher just before in the morning, where we failed at 825. And I started shorting into that pop and added some more as we rejected the second time. And as soon as we broke over it, I just covered it up. I didn't want to be in it because I thought we may pop over VWAP now towards 830. That's where I want to get short. And as we formed this double top right here, I got short, but as we pushed back to 830, I just covered it up again right away, not taking any chances. And as you can see, we spiked a good 20 cents from there. So pretty happy about that. And again, same plan. I was thinking the open was right here near 950, 850, and I wanted to play off of it. So I wanted a pullback from there. The RSI was near 90 at that point. So I started in short right in here. Again, we popped, and I covered everything right away, thinking 870, next area of interest. And, I was patient. I was okay with taking small paper cuts because I knew if this one pulled back, it would do it in a pretty hard way. So pulling back really hard. And in that 850 area, we started really getting heavier, basically. And once we tested 40, we kind of absorbed, and then I saw an 80K bid, right? Bid propping, kind of trying to get some liquidity to sell more of their shares. So I was thinking, all right, this one, they squeezed the easy to borrow shares, right? The easy shorts, people that kind of chase during the day, and they're gonna pull basically the bids, right? So everyone's kind of out. There's no more really shorts to get squeezed, and they dump it back towards VWAP for the end of the day, at least a retest. So then when I saw the bid prop and I saw big absorbing on the ask, I got happy. I got in bigger, and right here even bigger, right? And once we kind of made it to 40, we reclaimed back, the bid started coming back up. And once we got back up towards 850, I just covered it up, small loser again there. So a couple of losers there, but really super tight stop, right? So 2, 3, 4 cent maybe. And the first ones right in here were on small size because I wanted to to get heavier, you know, after that. So I wanted to get heavier, I wanted to scale in the trade and not be in right away. The last trade I'm going to talk about is SRNE. This one we had a midday offering again, a bit unlucky, easy to borrow stock. That's the one that reversed, which I was heavy short, and the other ones that I covered a bit earlier, those are the ones that really had some follow through. But I can't be mad, right? It can happen. I mean, data, or sometimes you're going to have periods where stocks overperform, where they done far more than your data shows you, and sometimes they're going to just come short. So they're not going to make the target. They're going to reclaim and so on. So it's kind of high and low, and the data shows you the average. That's when you can expect. Realistically, you can't nail everything. So this one popped up without a big gap, and I started seeing it right in here as it got overextended. I didn't get any entry there because I wasn't fast enough, first of all, and second of all, I saw some big bids and kind of absorbing during the move down. There wasn't really a big bid prop or something that I could hit into, so waited, and as I thought, kind of dumped, but no follow through at all, not really making it back to VWAP or anything, and it reclaimed right away. So as we kind of moved up towards $3, I had the same kind of mentality as with the other trade, the last trade on PFNX. And I wanted, I thought the longs would think $3 break, and that's why I wanted to short near 290. That was kind of the area I was interested in. And 290, if you look at the daily chart, you're going to see 290 is the last area we spiked into, and it's kind of the gap area, right? So where we topped out after the gap down, topped out here, and that was the area of interest before that 420, and I really didn't think we could make it. SRNX had dilution as well, so that's a nice thing. I think they had I'm 99% sure they have a 75 million ATM. Yeah, they do. And that's also why I didn't think they would raise today, right? I thought they would rather use that one, but they didn't. So they might have at first, and then they put out the offering at 220 for I think $25 million worth of stock. So right there, shorted my first position. That was my full size for the time, and risk of 290. So I had a fill. I got fill at 82 for an 8-cent stop. We moved back towards VWAP right away, heavy, really nice, but kind of absorbing and not much selling into that 270 area. We popped up, and I thought, that's the perfect opportunity, right? We're kind of getting overextended on that pop. I've got a nice risk reward there, and I really think we will fail because it seems really, really heavy and kind of, without any steam behind it, and no bids really chasing, kind of popping, and then it kind of stays there and the ask comes down. So got in more shares here, and I just waited for the VWAP crack. I wanted some panic to cover 1/2, and we didn't get that panic. We didn't get that panic at really any time. We kind of grinded down. So as you can see, it took 3 candles to get on the VWAP, then a green candle, and then kind of three red candles. Again, on this one, I wanted to cover some at 253, so just under 255 break, or kind of fast pullback, kind of snap under that level, fill me, and get back up. We didn't get that, so I started covering there. So 1/2, I covered 1/2, thinking if we bounce, I'm going to add some more, maybe get another opportunity, and then cover into the next wash. We didn't get any pop, and into that next wash, we really started absorbing at 255 again. So I just took it off, thinking, this one might just be a headache. I'm not seeing really the follow through and selling pressure I'm expecting from an ATM play. And yeah, covered it all, thinking, all right, maybe we'll get another play. Maybe it will run some more into the 280s or 270s where it can re-short it. Again, didn't get it, and after that, kind of grinded. Not too mad about it because we only made it down to like 246 before the offering, which is like not even 10 cents under where I covered, and just that just the mental capital that would have gone wasted during that time wouldn't have been worth it for just those 10 cent or 8 cent on 1/2 my share size. So those were the tickers I traded today. As you can see, really nice day. Kind of, we got that play, so SRNE, which was a play after the open, kind of parabolic up into resistance with dilution. Really, really nice play. Kind of easy play compared to other day 2 plays. And at the same time, we had a pre-market fader that got that got red right away before the open, and then we had that other play which was more into the $5 to $10 range with an ATM with a bigger gap with a parabolic at 7 a.m. So 3 different plays that all come together into the strategy I'm trading every single day at Matters Money. And that was just really great. It's a lot of content, it's a lot of things that you can learn from those plays, what to do, risk management, filings, and so on and so on. And I'm really happy I could show you guys in chat exactly how I managed everything and researched everything. If you want to learn more about Matters Money, click on the link below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. I'll see you in the next one.